What's going on, Sabs? Now, let me ask you this, Sabs, as we start. Were some of the people who you've seen on some of these lists, were they somewhat surprising, or were they? Or look, before you say who was on the list, were there any names on either of the lists that were surprising to you?
There were some that were surprising, but like Jerry Seinfeld, for example, was not surprising to me. Kid Cudi wasn't surprising to me. For those of you in Ohio, any of you from the Cleveland area, that's where Kid Cudi's from. Kid Cudi. They have a whole like section for him at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, by the way, in Cleveland. Oh, yeah. They have a whole section for musicians that are from Cleveland, Ohio, and there's a section for Kid Cudi. Mm-hmm.
No idea.
Bone Thugs and Harmony is in that section too.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, Sean said day and night. The lonely stoner starts to sleep at night. Kid Cudi. Sorry.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun show today. All right. So, Sabs, which one? I'm gonna let you pick. All right. Do you want me to go through the list of the Israeli supporters or the Palestine supporters? Which one?
Let's start with the Israeli supporters.
All right. That's a long list. That's a long list. All right. Let's go. All right. So they actually put out a open letter called Israel's Under Attack. So it says an open letter. So let's go and read just a couple of lines out of the letter first. So before we get to the people who actually signed, because I actually want to read this first. Okay. So actually, let me enlarge this just a little bit because, so I want everybody to see. So it says, out of Los Angeles, of course, more than 700 leaders from the entertainment industry have signed an open letter released by the nonprofit entertainment industry organization Creative Community for Peace in support of Israel. The open letter calls for the entertainment community to speak out forcefully against Hamas, to support Israel, to refrain from sharing misinformation about the war, and to do whatever is in their power to urge the terrorist organization to return the innocent hostages from their families. The letter comes in response to Hamas' heinous terrorist attack on Israel. Never mind in the last 75 years. In addition to the 1,200 plus Israelis murdered, it's actually been taken down from 1,200 to just under 1,100. Citizens of the US, UK, Canada, France, Thailand, Nepal, Russia, Ukraine, Cambodia, Germany, Philippines, Chile, Brazil, Italy, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, and Ireland have been identified as either missing or killed. So it talks about, some of the people who signed this are Haim Saban. Sabs, do you know who Haim Saban is? Do you? Oh, I couldn't hear you because you're...
I do not, sorry.
Okay. Remember Saban, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Oh, yeah.
That's Haim Saban, yes. Owner of the Power Rangers franchise. So, just to get you there. All right. Then Irving Azoff, Enon Krez, Joey Garrison, Mark Hamill.
He's always on the wrong side of foreign policy.
Yup, he is.
It's terrible.
Yeah, sad excuse for a Jedi. Rick Yorn, Howie Mandel, Julian Edelman, Antoine Puka. I don't know who that is.
What? Julian Edelman used to play for the New England Patriots. Oh, and that actually does not surprise me either. A lot of the Patriot players, at least those that were part of that Tom Brady era, are more on the conservative side. They tend to be more on the, not saying he's a Republican, but they tend to err more on the side of the status quo. Just FYI. Antoine Fuqua, isn't that the guy who, hold on, because that's the guy. Yeah, he's a director. He's the guy that directed Training Day, The Equalizer. Really? Yeah.
What?
He's a
Okay.
big director in Hollywood.
Wow. Billy Porter, your ass should know better. Billy Porter should know better. Dear God, as somebody that is of an oppressed community, Billy Porter should have known better, but God, Lee says among 1,000 plus celebrities and entertainment executives to sign an open letter condemning Hamas and calling for a return to hostages. So, of course, Gal Gadot, she is Israeli. She is the one who plays Wonder Woman in the movies.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Gal Gadot done got fired.
Yes, they have removed her. They've replaced her with there will be another Wonder Woman movie, but it will not be her. She also, JB, I think it's important for people to know, if I remember correctly, Gal Gadot was also an Israeli soldier.
Yeah, she was also in the IDF.
Yep.
Every Israeli of military age has to enlist and serve in the IDF. They all have to go under conscription. So that is a policy in Israel. So just let everybody know. So then she says, my heart is aching for the lives lost and families shattered. I am praying for everyone who has been affected by Hamas terrorism and brutality. And I hope the world remains steadfast in their support of the Israeli people. She basically is saying, F Palestinians. Okay. Haim Saban said, in the aftermath of the barbaric killing more than 1,200 Israelis, we are in the Hollywood community and around the world must stand with Israel as it defends itself against terrorist regime in Gaza that seeks Israel's destruction. Jeez Louise. Okay, so
Amy Schumer, of course,
and Michael Douglas, right?
And Amy Schumer, for people who are not aware, Amy Schumer is related to Chuck Schumer. If I remember correctly, they're either. Go ahead.
She's his cousin.
Yep. Yeah.
Lee Schreiber. You know who Lee Schreiber is?
I do.
Okay. Yeah. So that guy, is he Jewish?
I don't know. I don't know if he is. Okay. But I'm not surprised by him.
Yeah. Chris Pine. Sad. Chris Pine. Gosh, can't believe it. But yeah, he's gonna follow Gal Gadot pretty much anywhere and everywhere for it sounds like. Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'm not surprised.
This one. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not surprised by Jamie Lee Curtis, actually.
Really?
She again is very much status quo. She follows the status quo. She was the one that actually posted a picture and she said that it was Israelis that were injured and those were actually Palestinian. Those are Palestinian children. And then when she got called out for it, she removed it from Instagram. Yeah, she's a puppet.
Gosh, that sucks, man. You know how you have some stars and you like their personality, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mayim Bialik.
She's blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, she was also in Big Bang Theory as well. Ain't nobody surprised about Deborah Messing.
No, she's always on the wrong side of things.
Yep. Jerry Seinfeld, Jody Gerson. That name doesn't sound familiar.
It says chairman and CEO of Universal Music Publishing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Ziggy Marley. I'm like, what?
So a lot of this, and I'll get to this when we get to the DJ Khaled part, a lot of this has to do, especially people that are in the music industry, it has to do with the ties in reference to their record label. And I think that's why Ziggy Marley has that position. But Ziggy Marley knows better. He's one of those people that knows better. What would Bob Marley say? You know?
God, isn't that his son?
I believe so. Bob Marley had a lot of kids, so
Mm, gosh. And I'm not surprised by Sharon Osbourne.
No.
When she got called out for supporting racism on the talk and she went off on Cheryl Underwood, I knew exactly what time it was.
Yep.
Yep. Let me see. I'm trying to look at people. Oh, Andy Garcia.
That doesn't surprise me.
Mm-mm.
I think this is a different Julian Edelman because it says Julian Edelman, co-founder of Coast Productions. It doesn't say former football players. It could be a different one. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Bella Thorne. She's an actress. Emmanuel Chikri. Let me see. I'm just looking for George Lopez.
Doesn't
You know,
surprise
I'm
me.
kind of not surprised either.
Mm-mm.
Because I've heard people say that George Lopez, I've heard people of Mexican descent talk about how George Lopez throws any other comedian that's Mexican under the bus just so that he can be the only Mexican comedian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mekhi Phifer, really? Ugh.
Again, a lot of these people in Hollywood, again, like I think a lot of this has to deal with who they're tied to, like the companies that they're signed with, the contracts that they have. Same thing with Jason Alexander, who's also from Seinfeld.
Yep.
Fred Savage, Wonder Years.
And he's running for office too.
That's his brother.
Oh no, Ben Savage. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ben Savage from Boy Meets World is running for office.
Yeah, sorry, I got him mixed up. Let me see. I'm just looking for all the other actors that I'm just like, what? Josh Peck. That name doesn't sound familiar. Josh Peck.
I think Josh Peck was. I'll check that real quick. I think I know who that is.
Oh, I know who this guy is. Drake and Josh.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I only know that because my nieces and nephews watched Drake and Josh growing up.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, y'all. I'm that old. Get off me. And let me see, just a couple more. There's a lot of executives and people from Hollywood in here.
Mm-hmm.
Diane Warren. She's a big time songwriter.
Famous songwriter.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Helen Mirren.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what sucks, Sabs? Helen Mirren was my pick to play Madam Web in Spider-Man. She was my pick. That I was like, man, if they ever get a Madam Web in Spider-Man, I wanted Helen Mirren to play her. Yep. Crazy. Shannon Dorothy.
From 90210. That doesn't surprise me.
And Charmed. Mm-hmm. Noah Wiley.
He's from ER.
Yeah, I remember him. Francis Fisher. I don't know who that is. I gotta look at that up.
Nicholas Sparks is the author that wrote The Notebook. He writes a lot of those Southern like drama, and a lot of his books have been made into movies. That's Nicholas Sparks. That doesn't surprise me either.
Francis Fisher was Rose's mom on Titanic.
There you go.
Rose, get on the boat.
Peter Frampton.
Gosh. Peter Frampton. Samantha Rosen. Richard Lewis, really? Gosh.
I'm not surprised by him either.
And then Matthew Weiner.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. So yeah, and then the open letter. I'm just letting you guys know it is a long list. This is a long list. They came in, they said, y'all gonna sign this or else.
Well, what's really interesting is that some of these people, like their title is writer, producer, talent, agent, management, people who can essentially end their careers.
Yep. And that's the crazy part. And it's like, it's almost like it's like in order to keep their lifestyle and keep working, it's like if you don't sign on, you're putting yourself at risk.
Well, Hollywood will blackball you, man.
Look at Brendan Fraser.
Look at Rose McGowan. Yep. Rose McGowan, Terry Crews.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They all get blackballed, man. I'm telling you. Now, let me go to just a couple of things first before I get to the list on the next one, the Palestinian side. Gotcha. Let me share this. I'm not even going to say who it is, but you can be like, oh, okay. You may not be surprised. Who knows? But I just want to share this one. So, boom. Frank Ocean come out of his cave to say free Palestine.
Frank Ocean?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
So, this says, this will be my last official communication to you as director of New York Office of the High Commissioner. Oh, he shared this this from High Commissioner of Human Rights on his Instagram. Says Frank Ocean shared a UN New York director's resignation where he labeled Gaza war a textbook genocide. So Frank Ocean came out for Palestine.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't think he sings anymore. But
yeah. Yeah. So this one is Celebrities for Palestine. I'm not sure. Joe Cole speaks up for Palestine. Summer Walker. Let me see. I'm just looking at all the people. Some of these people are maybe international. Oh, Vanessa Redgraves.
Oh, she's old school.
Yeah. Yeah, she spoke out for Palestine years ago. And she was
booed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Blacklisted. Now, Chance the Rapper urges people to keep talking about Palestine amid the information blackout.
So Chance the Rapper is pretty he's pretty consistent, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He said in an Instagram post, he said the U.S. is funding and abetting genocide. Our Secretary of State is asking for less coverage. Soon to be an information blackout. Keep talking, keep posting, keep calling, keep praying. So that was from Chance the Rapper.
That's pretty based.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Susan Sarandon.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta talk about Lady Susan. She said, "You don't have to be Palestinian to care about what's happening in Gaza. I stand with Palestine. No one is free until everyone is free."
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
She follows me too on Twitter.
She's a legit like activist, you know?
Yeah.
She's a legit activist. Don't forget Kid Cudi.
Oh, yeah. Kid Cudi. All right. So, speaks out against Israel's genocide in Gaza, says, "My heart goes out to all my brothers and sisters of all faiths and backgrounds who are suffering. Free Palestine." And this is what Kid Cudi said. He said, "The things I've been seeing in the news have been breaking my heart. I can't watch what's happening in the world and remain silent. I can't imagine the pain people are feeling, seeing their entire neighborhoods bombed, losing generations of family members, parents crying over their children's lifeless bodies, communities turning into mass graves, people digging through the rubble of their homes in hopes of finding remains of their loved ones, a pain no one should have to go through. It doesn't feel right to share the music I have coming out and pretend like there isn't a part of the world burning, thousands of people being murdered." He says, "I know some people are going to disagree with me, but that's okay. As a Black man, I stand against all forms of oppression. And as an artist, I feel responsible to give voice to the unheard and to celebrate the spirit of all people through my work and my presence. It matters to me that my art represents my deepest beliefs about what I think humanity can look like. I'm hopeful we won't attack each other on the basis of upholding basic human rights. I'll always encourage peace for everyone, physical peace, mental peace, spiritual peace, no matter their religion or ethnicity. The loss of innocent lives is never acceptable. I recognize there is more to the story than what's happened over these past few weeks. And it goes without saying, I love my Jewish brothers and sisters and condemn any violence towards them. Your losses are unimaginable, and you are in my prayers. My prayers also go out to the hostages and their families. May they be returned safely. In the same breath, the collective punishment Palestinians are suffering under Israel's illegal occupation is unfathomable. Anti-Semitism is never welcome. But let's be clear, supporting Palestinian liberation is not anti-Semitic. It is human. Palestinians deserve their freedom. This isn't politics. These are real lives. And I am just a dude who gives a fuck about humanity. I stand with the people of Palestine as they demand immediate ceasefire in Gaza and an end to the ongoing genocide. My heart goes out to all my brothers and sisters of all faiths and backgrounds who are suffering. Free Palestine. With love, Scott.
Because day and night, the lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. Kid Cudi.
That's right. That's right. Here's another one.
Song.
Lord.
Mm-hmm.
The one who sang the song Royals. Kenny Stills. I'm not sure who he is. I've never seen him before, but he's apparently a football player.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure who Mariana Diamandis is. Florence Pugh. I was like, what? Yeah. So Florence Pugh said, "Raise your voice, ceasefire now." And she shared photos of what was going on.
She's a part of the MCU for people who are not aware. The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm. She played Black Widow's sister.
Yep.
Macklemore. All right.
Genocide. And we are scared. We are watching it unfold. We have been taught to just be complicit, to protect our careers, to protect our interests. And I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not afraid to speak the truth. You know, my daughter said to me this morning, she said, She's 8 years old. She said, Dad.
I don't know if we're gonna get tagged for that music.
There's one on Twitter without music.
Yeah. So I'll take a look at that. But yes, Macklemore also stands with Palestine. So we'll get to that in a second. Let me see. Bjork. Interesting.
I'm not surprised by her.
Interesting.
She's always kind of done her own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Bjork, I never really looked into her, but okay. Zayn Malik, former oh my god, who was this? One Direction. So yeah, interesting. We talked about Frank Ocean. Amy Lou Wood. Wow. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know she would be like that, but okay, cool. And Angelina Jolie.
Yep.
A-list star. And here's the thing I was thinking about when it comes to people like Angelina Jolie. They can't really say shit to her because she's such a big of a star. It's like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? You can say, oh, no, we're going to blacklist her. But all she got to do is come out in front of a bunch of cameras and it's over.
Well, also, too, she never really cares what people think about her either.
That's true.
She tends to be a little bit more a free spirit, independent.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of stars that are coming out in support, but she's like one of the big top tier A-listers.
Yep.
That, I was just like, whoa, she's speaking out. Let's take a look. She says, this is the deliberate bombing of a trapped population who have nowhere to flee. Gaza has been an open-air prison for nearly 2 decades and is fast becoming a mass grave. 40% of those killed are innocent children whose families are being murdered, while the world watches, and with active support of many governments, millions of Palestinian civilians, children, women, families are being collectively punished and dehumanized, all while being deprived food, medicine, and humanitarian aid against international law by refusing to demand a humanitarian ceasefire and blocking the UN Security Council from imposing one on both parties. World leaders are complicit in these crimes. She continues. Yeah, so this is basically showing all the things that she has said. And not gonna lie, this is cool to see that she actually talks about it.
Also, Bella Hadid, who, if I remember correctly, I think she was just removed from a modeling gig because of speaking out in reference to Palestine.
Because she's half Palestinian.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't think a lot of people realize that until now.
Yeah. Her and her sister Gigi Hadid are half Palestinian. She says, forgive me for my silence. I cannot be silenced any longer. Fear is not an option. The people and children of Palestine, especially in Gaza, cannot afford our silence. We are not brave. They are. She says, seeing the aftermath from the airstrikes in Gaza, I mourn with all the mothers who have lost children and the children who cry along, all the lost fathers, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunties, friends that will never again walk this earth. It is important to understand that the hardship of what it is to be Palestinian in a world that sees us as nothing more than terrorists resisting peace. It is harmful, it is shameful, and it is categorically untrue. My father, born in Nazareth during the Nakba in 1948, along with his family, was forced to become refugees just 9 days after his birth. My grandparents never got the chance to return. and my family has witnessed 75 years of violence against Palestinians, including brutal settler invasions, community destruction, cold-blooded murder, and forcible home removal. The pain of ongoing settlements on Palestinian land is unimaginable. There is an urgent humanitarian crisis in Gaza that must be attended to. Families need access to water and food. Hospitals need fuel to power generators. Tend to the wounded and keep people alive. We need to keep pressure on our leaders, wherever they are, not to forget the urgent need of the people of Gaza and to ensure that innocent Palestinian lives are not the forgotten casualties of this war.
Yep.
So this is personal for her.
Mm-hmm.
Drake broke his silence. So, I hope this doesn't have music. Nope, I can't play it. But
of course.
but yes. So he signed a letter calling for a ceasefire. And Drake is Jewish.
Yes. Yep.
Zendaya also signed a letter.
Yep.
Tom Holland picked a good one. Hozier slams U.S. veto on Gaza. Now, I'm not sure if you know who Hozier is.
Yeah, he's the guy that sing the "Take Me to Church" song.
Yep.
So he's always, which is very political, by the way. That's a political song for those who are not aware, when he talks about what happened to people in his home country.
Mm-hmm.
But he's always been pretty outspoken about these types of issues.
Mm-hmm. That song was my new favorite song, and I just listened to it for the first time this year.
Take me to church.
Mm-hmm. Queen Latifah.
Uh-oh.
Yup. Hey, I ain't mad at it now. I ain't mad at it. Go ahead, Dana. All right. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Are you surprised there at all?
I'm surprised by J-Lo. I'm not surprised by Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck has spoken about this issue before in interviews, so I was not surprised by him. I was kind of surprised by J-Lo. She's usually silent on these types of issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she'll tell you, I've seen her in interviews before too. She says she don't usually like to bring up politics, but after Trump, that's when she, started to say a little bit more vocally.
That's cool.
But yeah, Ben Affleck has been known to kind of voice his opinion about these types of issues during interviews. So that's how I found out how he felt about certain, international issues. Yeah,
I saw when he was on with what's his name? Greasehead. Anywho, India Moore. Now, for those of you who are not aware, India Moore is the actress from Pose. And she is actually transgender. And she was acting in Pose opposite of people like Billy Porter. So Billy Porter came out for Israel. India Moore came out for Palestine.
There you go.
Beautiful person. AJ Tracy. He's a British star. Mark Ruffalo.
That one doesn't surprise me. Remember, he was a Bernie bro.
Yeah,
he was a Bernie dude.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool at the time. And he says, "You are not alone. Don't be afraid to speak up." So that was cool from Mark Ruffalo. Of course, Loki.
Yeah, Loki has been on it about this on Twitter, like constantly.
Oh, of course. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
In jail for what they described as terrorism at the time, but yet you cannot see what the vast majority of human rights organizations in the world see when they look at the Palestinians. When you look at UN Resolution 194, paragraph 11, the Palestinians have the right to return home. Almost a million of them were displaced in 1948 with the foundation of the State of Israel. And what we are now on the brink of is Palestinians, millions of them, being driven into the Sinai Desert with help of the US Delta Force,
but Loki,
with help of the British. This is a manufactured, an Israeli manufactured humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. There is a 23% infant mortality rate in Gaza.
Let me say something. I completely agree with you about the plight of the Palestinian people. I've tweeted about this for the last 2 weeks.
No, to be fair, you haven't, Piers, and this is not journalism. Shireen Abu Akleh was journalism. Yasser Murtaja was journalism. Mu'taz Azaiza, that's journalism. Palestinians are reaching out from the cage that Israel has put them in, and they are trying to speak to the world. Yeah, and they are being met. They are being met with cold. So, Piers, you seem absolutely content to not only compare yourself to Nelson Mandela, who served 27 years in jail for what they described as terrorism at the time, but yet you cannot see what the vast majority of human rights organizations in the world see when they look at the Palestinians. When you look at UN Resolution 194, paragraph 11, the Palestinians have the...
Woo, he took him to school.
Yep.
Took him to school.
And Piers Morgan has been, oh, God.
Yeah.
A couple of people have had to school Piers Morgan about this issue recently. A couple of people have. I think Glenn Greenwald was on there. I know Cenk Uger's supposed to be coming on there to have this discussion as well. Like, it's just, yeah.
It's like, how many people have to school you before you actually learn?
Mm-hmm.
Next one is Dave Chappelle.
Of course. Of course.
22,000 people were there. 3/4 of the way into the show, he said, I want to address what's going on in Palestine and Israel. He specifically said Palestine and said it before Israel. He said what happened on October 7th wasn't right, but also what's going on isn't right and not just. You can't kill innocent civilians like that, and the whole world sits silently and watches. Then someone shouted at him from the crowd, shut the F up, Dave. He then went nuts and yelled back, no, you shut the F up. And you don't take tens of billions from my country to go kill innocent women and children and come tell me to shut the F up. He said, don't come begging for money from my country and then go drop bombs on children and cut off innocent people, water and electricity. You have the audacity to pay, come see me and then tell me to shut the F up. No, you shut the F up. The crowd then started clapping and cheering for him and saying, yes, Dave, in chants of free Palestine. And then he said, you're damn right, free Palestine. So the way it was reported initially, in the Wall Street Journal did seem to suggest that he was being heckled and booed at this concert. This gives us a different picture of a minority heckling and booing and the rest of the crowd supporting him, which does seem to reflect both the huge protests, pro-Palestinian protests we saw over the weekend, 100,000 protesters estimated in London, 100,000. And also the polls that we've discussed where majorities of Americans support a ceasefire.
Yeah. I want to get to the part about DJ Khaled before I forget.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can come back to it. I just want to make sure I show this with people. So one of the people that we've kind of mentioned has been very silent on this issue is DJ Khaled. Very silent. Well, now I think we may have found out why, right? So DJ Khaled, for those who are not aware, he is Palestinian. So just FYI. Now, I want to share this with you, and I want to give a shout out to Mint Press News for doing their work here, because it said, a moment of silence for DJ Khaled. The secret to DJ Khaled's silence on Palestine. So we get into it here. Here's a thread. It says DJ Khaled's label, We the Best, is a subsidiary of Universal Music Group. Let Let's go on. The CEO of Universal Music Group, his wife, and other directors within Universal Music Group have long supported Israel. And I want to click on each one. So the first picture here, the CEO of Universal Music Group is Lucian Grange, a supporter of the Friends of the IDF charity. There's more. Caroline Grange, the wife of Universal Music Group CEO, funds the Zionist Federation and other Israel lobby groups. So you see how deeply entrenched this can be. Another director of Universal Music Group is JB Haim Saban, the largest fundraiser for the Friends of the IDF in history. So let me go back because it's a thread. And I want to go on. It says, it seems that directors within Universal Music Group have even had an influence over the scripts written for the U.S. president's policy on Israel.
Wow.
Haim Saban is also credited with writing the script for the U.S. President Joe Biden's policy on Israel.
All right, I'm out.
Isn't this wild?
All right. See you later, Sabs. I'm done.
JB took his 90s shirt and pieced out. You guys see? This is what I've been trying to warn people about. So you really got to, when we say follow the money, you really got to follow this chain.
Yeah.
But shout out to Mint Press News because they were the ones that broke this on Twitter. So you got to know about DJ Khaled's label, and that is a subsidiary of Universal Music Group. And that's why DJ Khaled hasn't said anything about this issue. Not one thing.
Wow.
While his own people are being massacred.
It's like they got you by the balls that much, man.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Woo. All right, so I got the speech. I gotta make this really quick because I got the speech for Macklemore up.
Hey.
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket.
I know it. Here we go. This is fucking awesome.
We have Macklemore on deck. Make some noise for him.
Wait, what?
Peace, everybody. You know, first and foremost, this is absolutely beautiful to observe today. I didn't expect to be on a microphone, but there are thousands of people here that are more qualified to speak on the issue of a free Palestine than myself. But I will say this. They told me to be quiet. They told me to do my research, to go back, that it's too complex to say something, right? To be silent in this moment. In the last 3 weeks, I've gone back and I've done some research, and I'm teachable. I don't know enough, but I know enough that this is a genocide.
Looks like he did his research. Wow. Okay. So, just to let you guys know, let me just do this really quick. I'm not going to take very long on this because we do have a hard stop at 7 p.m. But this is the Artists for Ceasefire that we were referring to, where there's a lot of artists that are calling for a ceasefire in support of Palestine. And it talks about, at the end, it says, after writing More than 6,000 bombs have been dropped in Gaza in the last 12 days, resulting in one child being killed every 15 minutes. So these are some of the people, just like we said. Rhonda Jules is also who signed. Jessica Chastain, she signed as well. Of course, Jesse Williams signed. So, you remember him, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Joaquin Phoenix also signed as well.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Joel Edgerton, John Cusack, and look at here, Jon Stewart.
I'm surprised by that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also surprised to see Alyssa Milano's name on this list because we know that we know how she can be.
Yeah, we know how she get down. And then Jordan Peele.
Whoo.
Selena Gomez. I was hoping Kathy Griffin would be on here, but nope, I didn't see her.
She got blackballed, JB.
Of course she did. You see. Oh, and by the way, one of the people on the Israeli list that I shook my head at, Taj Maui.
Who?
Tia and Tamara Maui's little brother. Remember Smart Guy?
No.
Yeah, he was on the Israeli one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Tessa Thompson. She signed this one.
I was about to say she usually pretty radical because remember she was a part of the movie about capitalism.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry to bother you. Sorry to bother you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tom Hardy. So fine looking self. Of course, Tom Hardy signed this one. Right. Boots Riley, of course. Bradley Cooper. Interesting.
That one is kind of interesting, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
And Boots Riley, that Sorry to Bother You was Boots Riley's movie, by the way.
And Wallace Shawn, he's always been pretty based.
Who is that?
Inconceivable. Remember? Princess Bride?
Oh, okay, that guy.
Yeah. Also, he was the voice of the Tyrannosaurus Rex from Toy Story.
Wasn't he also in Clueless?
Yes, he was one of the teachers.
Mr. Hall.
Yeah. Wanda Sykes. I'm surprised. Okay.
Sometimes she got good takes. Sometimes she don't.
Mm-hmm. Kate Blanchett.
Oh.
Channing Tatum.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we know who some of the base people are in Hollywood, I guess.
Yeah. Cynthia Nixon. Remember she ran for New York governor?
And she's from Sex and City.
Yep. I think isn't Cynthia Nixon Jewish?
I don't know.
Okay. Nelly Furtado. Interesting.
That makes sense.
All right.
Nelly can be pretty based.
Yeah. Ewan McGregor. Obi-Wan.
Wow.
How is Obi-Wan based, but Luke isn't? What?
Oh, God.
Padma Lakshmi. That was interesting.
Was someone in the chat is like, what about Kanye? Is he on this list or any list? Probably not.
Probably not. I'm surprised Rosie O'Donnell is on here because she was also on the Israeli side too.
Yeah, maybe she kind of changed her views a little bit. Look, Rosario Dawson, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we see where she stands and we see where Cory Booker stands.
Mm-hmm.